A very good afternoon to you and welcome to NTV at One. My name is Edmond Nyabola. These are the stories we are covering for you at this hour, starting with Migori Governor Okoth Obado, who is among 3 suspects in the murder of former Rongo University student Sharon Otieno, can now travel to Homa Bay County without any restrictions. This is after the High Court Judge Jesse Lesit lifted a restriction order that had limited the governor to a 20 kilometers distance from any Migori to Homa Bay boundary. The late Sharon and her unborn child were brutally murdered in Homa Bay County, sparking public anger in 2018. Seth Olale is joining us in the newsroom with more details on that. Seth, what are we learning about this review of the case?
Well, thank you so much, Edmond Nyabola. What we're learning is that at least the governor can now even visit his rural and palatial home in Rapogi, which is just less than 11 kilometers from Homa Bay border. I remember that we are told by his aides in Migori County that he used to operate mostly from Rapogi, which he has built a palatial home. But remember that since he was charged alongside 2 others, he has never visited that particular home owing to the 20-kilometer boundary between Migori County and neighboring Homa County, and he was not supposed to access Homa Bay County at all. And this is after the late Sharon Otieno's parents actually told the court that their lives were in danger and they were being threatened by unknown persons, and that was the bond condition that the governor was given. And remember also that the governor argued through his lawyer Kioko Kilukumi that he could not effectively disperse his mandate, or rather work effectively with the constituents, because he said that 5 out of 8 of the constituencies within Migori County share a border with Homa Bay County, and so he was restricted even to effectively dispense his mandate, and he asked the court to lift this particular restriction, which is a 20-kilometer radius. And this means that the governor can now go to each and every of the 5 out of the 8 constituency and dispense his mandate. He can also visit his palatial home in Rapogi, which he used to operate. And it is also worth noting that Obado is still a free man on bond, but his other aides, the other 2 suspects in this particular murder case, we are talking about his personal aide, who is Michael Oyamo, who was charged with murder together with the Migori County government clerk, that is Caspal Obiero. They were both charged with murder. The 2 are still in remand prison, that they, after being denied bond, but for the governor, he was released on this particular condition. And remember that this particular ruling was just a bond review case, and the other terms remain constant. Remember that his passport was taken away, the governor cannot travel out of the country, and also the governor was restricted from uttering anything to do with this particular murder case. But it is worth also noting, Edmond, that Obado, together with 2 others, were formally charged in September 2018 after the brutal murder of the former Rongo University student Sharon Otieno on the night of 3rd and 4th September.
All right, thank you so much, Seth Olale, for that update. Now, staying on the same story, following a successful petition by Migori Governor Okoth Obado to have his bond terms reviewed, residents say they only want to be served. Bernard Ojuang is live for us in Migori County right now. Bernard, what are the residents saying about the review of the bond case?
Well, thank you very much, Edmond. It is a relief to Migori County Governor Zachary Okoth Obado. This is after the court accepted his bond terms be reviewed. And of course, initially Obado was barred even from visiting his Rapogi home. And of course, his Rapogi some few kilometers from Migori County. And remember what the county residents are saying here. They are saying that they want the governor now to come back and serve the areas that he was bad not full. And currently I'm just going to talk to some of the residents just to get their views, what they think. about the decision. John Miasongapa, what do you think about the decision that has made by the court?
First, I would congratulate the courts for their lifting of the bail application which was before them. I would say congratulations for the. The other thing is that I would say the governor now needs to embark on what he used to do for the residents of this county, particularly Rongo and Migori, which there are some projects which were there which by the time of their launching he could not even attend. Then these programs are under World Bank. So the governor needs to visit now and ensure, talk to the people and tell them where the source of the money, where the money came from, where, the period of the contract and other things.
Well, thank you. I'll talk to the last person. What do you expect from the governor now that is a case, the lift, the bans, the condition, the bond terms have been lifted now?
Thank you very much, and in fact I'm very happy to see our governor back when he's very free to walk in every part of the county of Migori. I personally come from Nyatike, and Nyatike is one of the areas that were affected. He could not move. So, because I know that the governor is a man that loves work, he will be able to walk and maybe see the projects that he started.
Well, I thank you very much.
So it's very good to see him walk.
Well, thank you very much. Edmond, you've just heard from the locals there. They are saying that they have welcomed the decision and they are now appealing to Migori County Governor Zachary Okoth Obado to come back and also visit the places that he was barred from visiting. And of course, we'll be following up, we'll be getting the reactions from the locals for our subsequent bulletins. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Bernardo Juang, live from Rongo with reactions to the governor's review of bond terms from the High Court earlier today. Now, 14 buffaloes have been confirmed dead following an anthrax outbreak at the Lake Nakuru National Park. The Kenya Wildlife Service says the first case was reported on 29th of March. And joining me right now in studio to talk more about this is the Deputy Director in charge of communication at the Kenya Wildlife Service, is Mr. Paul Gathitu Masela. Welcome. What are the immediate remedial measures that you've put in place to contain this outbreak?
The first one is just to make sure that all the carcasses, any that we detect or we suspect is of anthrax effect, that is treated according to the anthrax protocol, which means that you bury the carcass and you burn it and you put some lime and then cover it and disinfect the particular area. Right. That means that that bacteria is actually contained. Right. And then also you make sure that any person who's coming into direct contact with these carcasses is then well protected. First they get the jab, and also we make sure that they're using protective gear. Right. Then we are on the lookout to make sure that any animal that succumbs, we are with it to be able to deal with the case.
All right. We've got game in studio, quite literally. Talk to us about some of the symptoms and how they show when that outbreak came about. At least we have a buffalo here, we have a lion as well as a cheetah here. So what are some of the, how do you look, what signs do you look for the symptoms? Really?
Actually, the biggest, of course, the animal would be weak if it's affected by any disease. Naturally, it would look weak. The body condition would be showing that it's not in very good health. But also, the real telltale sign is that you have blood oozing from all openings, whether it's the nose or the various areas. Okay. So that's the one that gives you that indication. Okay. Yeah.
What is the likelihood that the outbreak has affected some other animals within the national park? We only know of 14 buffaloes that have died right now. Yes. Maybe lions, cheetahs, and all wild game?
Yeah, actually, it's 10 that have died, 7 confirmed, and 14 we use that detection of just checking. Okay. Then 4 have just died, and we are testing to make sure that, again, it's in that area. So that figure is correct, except that we want to make sure that we test and we make sure we are seeing. Right. But then there was also a waterback that was affected and was also tested, and it showed that it had. Right. So because we know that it is transmissible to other animals, we are concerned about the possibility of some of the endangered species, particularly the rhinos, white and black, as well as the giraffes. So we've actually started vaccinating the rhinos. All right.
We of course expect that we have experts on ground trying to treat some of these animals and just prevent further spread.
But that is correct.
Are they also at risk, human beings?
Yes, indeed. It's a zoonotic disease, so it means that it can be transmitted from wildlife to livestock and also to humans. And therefore, we make sure that we take measures. Any person who comes into direct contact, whether they are the ones who are dealing with the carcasses or whether they see and they are going to investigate, must then be protected. They wear protective material. But also, if we know that it's a team that we are going to consistently use, then now we give them the anti-anthrax jab, so we make sure they're protected.
All right, finally, has this affected tourist numbers within that specific national park and the industry at large in any way?
Not at all, because unless you come directly into contact with the carcass, you're not likely to be done, because it's the way it's transmitted is through some spores, which means some air borne, but you have to be very close to the carcass. And then if you have any broken skin, that then it comes into contact with the bacteria, or if you ingest. Meaning that if you eat meat that is got that.
All right, so our wild game within Lake Nakuru National Park are safe at this moment in time.
The tourists are safe, the staff are safe, everybody is safe in that particular area.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul Gathitu, the Deputy Director of the Kenya Wildlife Services in charge of communication. Thank you so much talking to us about the anthrax outbreak in Nakuru. Now, Kevin Mutai is live in Malindi, where the Kenya Red Cross and, of course, the government, in partnership with the government, are launching an initiative to really look at the plight of the 2018 flood victims, building new houses, among other things. Kevin, what is the exercise like over there in Malindi?
Well, thank you so much, Edmond. We are live from Kalongoni village in Garashi, that is in Kilifi County, in Magarini constituency. We were here with the Kenya Red Cross officials monitoring the reconstruction of houses belonging to flood victims, those who were affected by floods in 2018. And as you can see, the situation is still, that is, as you can see, coming live to your screens. Those are just part of the houses that were constructed by Red Cross. The government donated 1 billion shillings towards this particular exercise, and according to Red Cross, they've used a total number of 600 million shillings for reconstruction of houses, 150 million shillings towards the water issues, and 100 million shillings to address the health issues. Remember that this has been happening across the country, and according to the Kenya Red Cross in Kilifi County alone, they managed to construct over 800 houses, and we'll be going over to Tana River County, where we are told that they've already constructed 1,000 houses, and of course which have already been moved in, and residents. Let me just quickly engage one of the residents from this village to quickly tell us how they feel about this initiative, and if at all they appreciate, and they've had, or rather they've got whatever they were longing for. Kwanza kabisa jitambulishe kwa majina waitwa nani, alafu tueleze unaridhishwa na mradi huu ambao unaendelezwa na serikali pamoja na shirika la Msalaba Mwekundu.
Kwa majina anaitwa Shadrack Kazungunda, naibu wa chifu kata ndogo ya Mikuyuni Garashi location. Ukweli kabisa, na kwa niaba ya wakazi wa hapa, nataka kuseme mradi huu umeweza kuridhisha wanufaika kulingana athari za mafuriko ambazo ziliwakumba. Ndio.
Kuna changamoto ambazo mwazipitia sasa? Zipi?
Changamoto ziko, na taangazia changamoto ya kwanza ikiwa kijiji hiki ikiwa kipya kabisa, hakina shule, na toka eneo hili mpaka sehemu ambayo iko na shule karibu inapata kama kilomita 3. Kwa hivyo inakuwa kwa wakati mwingine kama na adhabu kwa wanafunzi ambao wanafunzi wanapitia changamoto kama hii. Changamoto ya pili, pia tuna tatizo la maji. Sehemu hii mpya kabisa, hakuna kisima, hakuna mfereji, na wakazi hapa wanalazimika kutembea angalau kilomita 3 kupata maji masafi ya kutumia. Tena vile vile tuna changamoto ya tatu, eneo hili liko na idadi ya wakazi wengi waliohama chini kwa sababu ya mafuriko. Huduma za afya kuzipata pia wanalazimika wasafiri angalau kilomita 2.5 kufikia huduma hizo. Na vile vile tunaangalia pia mtazamo wa njaa, kwamba sehemu waliotoka na tulingama athari mafuriko tokea mwaka jana hadi sasa hawajapata wakati mzuri wa kulima, kwa hivyo manyumbani mwao ni kama hawana chakula cha kutosha.
Well, Edmond, you've heard those are just some of the challenges that residents from this particular region are facing, and they're saying they're satisfied with their houses, and we will still be monitoring the situation in the neighboring counties of Tana River and Lamu, where the program is being conducted and run by the Kenya Red Cross. As of now, Edmond, let me just go around trying to gather more information, and we'll be updating our viewers on what is really happening on the ground about the exercise.
Thank you so much, Kevin Mutai, live from Malindi. Now, a key suspect in the murder of a couple and their 5-year-old child in Malete, Kericho County has been arrested. Kericho County Commander James Mugera has confirmed the arrest, saying that there is still one key suspect on the run. The main culprit, who the police say is a tailor, is being interrogated after he was found in possession of passports, mobile phones, US dollars, among other documents belonging to the slain family. They were killed on the 3rd of April this year at their home. There has been a rise in murders, raising concern in the county and beyond. To another story about crime. A suspected gangster linked to a series of robberies in M-Pesa shops in Changamwe in Mombasa County has been killed by police after a tip-off from residents. The deceased was suspected to be part of a gang behind a recent attack where a woman was robbed of 200,000 shillings from an M-Pesa shop and killed. Police recovered a pistol from the suspect and have vowed to pursue other members of the said gang.
Alifatiwa risasi, alikuwa na bunduki na akafatiwa risasi 3 kwa askari, lakini bahati mzuri hakuna ile risasi imeshika askari na yeye mwenyewe akawaiwa. So bado wale wengine wametoroka wawili na bado tunawasaka na tunaamini kwamba wale wawili wameenda, hakuna mahali wataenda, tutawakamata bado.
Let's cross over live to Capitol Hill in Upper Hill here in Nairobi, where former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is engaging the youth in the Building Bridges initiative. Let's listen in.
Not only in the national government, but also in the county governments. Then they also talked about the governance structure of our country, particularly the structure of the devolution, the structure of the executive, and the structure of the legislature in our country. And they've said that they're ready to present their views to the Building Bridges initiative when the right time comes. They have also talked about corruption, and they share the views that we share, myself and the President, that corruption is a cancer that must be slayed, must be cured. It's a monster that needs to be slayed. And they have said that it is eating at the fabrics of our society, denying job opportunities to the youth, impoverishing majority of our people, particularly the farming community, farmers, the pastoralists, the fishermen in our country. They're also concerned about insecurity in the country generally. And they've said that this requires a collective effort of all the people of our country. That this corruption has seen the erosion of morals in our society. Almost every sector of the society is affected, whether it is in the security sector, whether it's in the civil service, whether it is in the judiciary, whether it is in the religious institutions, the churches, the mosques. They're all affected in one way or the other, and that this requires to be fixed, including also the electoral institution in the country. So we have had a wonderful conversation with this representative of the youth, and I'm going to ask their representatives to now take it from here and speak on their own behalf.
ODM leader Raila Odinga speaking to youth representatives on the Building Bridges initiative at Capitol Hill here in Nairobi. Now, county action plans are underway countrywide to help counter terrorism and boost security within the region. This will include interreligious dialogues set to curb questionable ideologies. This was among the focal points during the Nation Leadership Forum held last night at the University of Nairobi.
we must continue to build proper systems. We must continue to protect data of our customers. And of course, we must continue to do proper surveillance 24/7. We cannot leave it to governments, to governments actually across the world to protect us. We have a big duty.
So Kenya is fighting back. Our capabilities are degrading the capabilities of our enemy. And I think they will continue trying to attack us, but I think we are more than equal to the task.
We really need to create synergy between all the other actors, whether it is county government, the national government, schools, civil society, the academia, in terms of providing research. And finally, I think the most important thing is information. Information is power. We really need to upgrade ourselves in terms of gathering that information through intelligence and management of that information.
Kitting, tooling them properly. I think now the next to reinforce that is to transform the culture of security actors, the culture of policing, so that we are effectively policing with the community and not policing community.
We are making strides. We can make better strides. We are going to build the synergies. I know we have, with NCTC, Mombasa County and Garissa County have CVE programs that are being piloted. We are working with them. We are working with the academia. We are working with CSOs. And in my opinion, we've made a lot of strides, and we're going to make even better.
Now, Kenyans who do not register in the National Integrated Identity Management System, NIMS, will not be able to acquire passports. This is according to Immigration Principal Secretary Gordon Kihalangwa. He maintains that those who are not in the identification system will be treated as non-Kenyans, since it will be used as the single source of truth. The Immigration Department says that NIMS is an upgrade of the Integrated Population Register system that they have been relying on. In the next 2 months, officers from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission will review systems at the Immigration Department with the aim of enhancing them to curb corruption and the illegal issuance of passports to non-Kenyans.
Just a review to realize better system for the citizen. Thank you very much. The fact that immigration services interact with the public directly makes you very prone to corruption. Public interaction, direct public interaction with government agencies, and if they are not working properly or the systems are a little bit either difficult, strict, the end result is corruption.
The National Integrated Identity Management System, the NIMS, if that program succeeds, we'll have actually addressed our problems with almost 50%. Now, NIMS is a total upgrade, and that's why NIMS must succeed. It is a very important thing because it will not only assist us on security matters, it will also assist us in service delivery. And of course, if you are not in NIMS and you are actually applying for a passport, then we know very well that you are not a Kenyan, because that will actually be the single source of truth.
Now, First Lady Margaret Kenyatta has led State House staff in registering for the National Integrated Identity Management System, commonly known as Huduma Number. The exercise was conducted at State House, Nairobi, by a team of registration clerks from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government. After the First Lady, State House Comptroller Kinuthia Mbugua also registered, together with President Uhuru Kenyatta's aide-de-camp. President Kenyatta officially rolled out the exercise in Machakos last week. The president says NIMS will not only transform civil registration and data management in the country, but also tame corruption. To some business news, and the World Bank projects that the Kenyan economy will grow by 5.7% in 2019, a slight reduction from the 5.8% it says was achieved last year. This is lower than the 6.3% growth that President Uhuru Kenyatta projected during the State of the Nation address last Thursday. During the release of the latest edition of the Kenya Economic Outlook update by the Bretton Woods Institution, the slowdown in lending to the private sector was cited as an issue of of major concern. Financial experts at the bank are monitoring the unfolding drought scenario, given that its spread could lead to a downward revision of the said economic growth forecast.
This is below the target that we had hoped to grow as an economy, particularly given the guidance that we are given by the Vision 2030. Nonetheless, the growth story we see from the supply side is not corroborated with when you go to the demand side.
Now, Britam asset managers have supported the government's action of putting in place structures for a sovereign wealth fund, saying it would yield several benefits for the country. Britam has, however, pointed out that local policy makers would have to guard against potential over-reliance on revenues from natural resources in future budgets. This, they say, would result in short-term shocks in the event of depressed commodity markets. A sovereign wealth fund is a state-run fund usually created using profits from natural resources such as oil, gas, or minerals, or from a country's budget surplus.
Benefits towards having a sovereign wealth fund. We are well aware that Kenya is now entering the league of nations that call themselves oil producers, and it is very important to be able to take advantage of this resource, but take advantage of it for good and make sure that we are responsible with respect to managing the proceeds that then come from the sales.
By the year 2022, it's estimated that Kenya will be exporting 80,000 barrels of oil per day, and this translates to about 30 million barrels per year. The estimated revenue from these 30 million.
Now, a family from Limuru in Kiambu County is searching for their 19-year-old kin, Caroline Wairimu, who went missing on 27th of February. According to the grandmother, Caroline left home for school after the midterm break. After 2 weeks, the grandmother was informed by the head teacher that she did not report to school. She was last seen wearing a Mudhurwa High School uniform, a maroon skirt, and a white shirt. The family is appealing to anyone who has information about her to call 0725-893-053, that is 0725-893-053, or report to the nearest police station.
Mtoto hayuko shuleni, nikamuuliza kutoka lini, akaniambia hakurudi. Saida walikuja midterm, hakurudi shule. Na mimi nikamuuliza kwa nini hamkunipigia mniambie mtoto hajafika shuleni, na saa hizi ni wiki mbili, kwa vile sasa nilipigwa on 13th March. Akaniambia upiga simu kama imefika wiki 3.
And further afield, Sudan's army has deployed troops around its headquarters in the capital Khartoum and blocked roads leading to the complex that hosts President Omar al-Bashir. Anti-government protesters have been camping outside the headquarters for 3 consecutive days, demanding the removal of the president from office. Heavy gunfire has also been heard outside the army's headquarters. The police were forced to fire tear gas to disperse thousands of demonstrators who chanted anti-government slogans and urging the military to join calls for the removal of President Bashir. Let's now cover your sports. Sean Kadovilis is in studio for that. Sean.
Thank you very much, Edmond. Now, the Kenya Secondary School Term 1 games kicked off in Mombasa this morning. Shimo La Tewa High School and Shanzu Teachers Training College will host the ball disciplines, while Mbaraki Sports Club and Oshwell Academy Nyali will host the athletics and swimming, respectively. NTV's Ida Waringa is currently at Shanzu for some of the action. How is day 1 going, Ida?
Well, Sean, day 1 is hot, windy and humid all at the same time. But as you've said, I am currently at Shanzu Teachers Training College, where some hockey and some handball is currently going on. In the course of the afternoon, we will make our way over to Shimo La Tewa for basketball and a bit of rugby. So it's still preliminary games, Sean, from today all the way through to Thursday. For the different disciplines, all the teams have been put or have been pulled in different groups between Pool A A and Pool D. And I will be taking you through some of those results, especially in handball, where Mangu did beat Shiak, or Saniak, I'm sorry about that, 2018. And Hospital Hill School did beat White House 24-15. That was handball earlier on. Handball is still currently going on, Sean. And in hockey, St. Charles Luanga did lose 1-0 to Kamusinga. So lots going on. But going back to handball, there's a very interesting story that we are currently waiting to see exactly how it goes down, focusing on one school in particular, that being Kimilili. Now, they are the defending champions of the handball event, Sean. That surrounding one coach in particular, his name being Gerald Juma. Now, he did win 10 national titles and 2 East African titles with Kimilili. He is now with the newcomers Mboni, who will be facing Kimilili at 3:30 p.m. here at Shanzu Teachers Training College. So a lot of attention focused on him. Will he be able, with his new team, to have won over his old team? We'll see about that. He's already anchoring Mboni to hopefully what will be a potential national title for them. And Sean, don't forget that all this is geared towards the East African school game. So, of course, the winners of the different disciplines here will be able to represent the country nationally. And we do know that Kenya did exceptionally well, was actually top in the last East African school game. So it's looking very, very good, Sean. We will be sure to update you on how everything goes on. This is just day one. We are here all the way till Saturday, and the school games are looking very good. It's back to you in studio, Sean.